And we're back here on Open. Washington, D.C. is still trying to get that immigration deal done. Meanwhile, President Trump releases his budget, and there's still much controversy. Here to break it all down, Lee Bynes, our political analyst, joins us now in studio. Good to have you, man.
Good to be back.
Happy Valentine's Day. I see you got the red on.
Thank you very much. The love has got to go out on today.
And special love to your wife as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, listen, let's talk about this here.
Sure.
President Trump now, as we're still talking, lawmakers in Washington, D.C. still trying to hatch out an immigration deal. We still know that they said there's bipartisan support, but where are we on all of this?
Well, to be honest with you, it's Valentine's Day. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
No love here, huh?
From Washington, it's not. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, Mitch McConnell, leader of the House, I'm sorry, leader of the Senate, just mentioned that he's looking to wrap things up on this debate by the end of the week. The Democrats, on the other hand, are trying to force a little more time. I'm not sure that they actually deserve it, to be honest with you, because as the news is coming out, they didn't actually come up with bring a proposal and put on the table. Why? I'm not certain at this point. But to be absolutely honest with you, with regards to the Dreamers, DACA, the undocumented persons, period, it doesn't look good because the president has pretty much laid down a marker with his 4 pillars of what he wants to see in this budget. What he wants to see as far as the immigration plan is concerned. And that being said, the Republicans did come prepared, and they brought to the table exactly what the president is looking to get. Now, we discussed this over the last couple of weeks. We talked about the fact that it's they're holding out for to get rid of the chain migration. Some people call it family unification in a humanitarian point of view, in terms of allowing someone who is legally here to bring their family members over, mother, father, sister, daughter, etc. That's off the table as far as the president is concerned, as well as he definitely wants the border wall. Now, where the Democrats may give on that, where they will be held to the fire and pay holy hell if they give up on those the other items on that list. It'll all break down. Now, if in fact, as we mentioned before, that the Senate is able to come to an agreement, which is extremely doubtful at this point, because in order for that to happen, they're going to need at least 60 votes to get it out of the Senate. It's got to go to the House. As we mentioned before, the House is a very, very conservative space right now. They're the ones who are holding out for the president. They want to make sure that he gets those 4 pillars in place. If that happens, it's absolutely no way on this earth that anything is going to come out of the positive for these.
And
folks.
we know Democrats are saying, listen, we want to try to wait to push this vote. And how realistic are they going to be in terms of getting what they want, pushing or on a delay?
Well, let's make this very, very clear. March 5th is the drop dead date. After that point, no more applications will be able to be reestablished. So if they don't get something done right away, those folks are going to be exposed to arrests, detainment, and deportation. And from what I've been able to gather over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, the ICE agents have not been particularly discerning on who they've been rounding up. We were told initially that they were going to be grabbing the worst of the worst. But, over the last few weeks, we've been hearing about people, scientists. There was one particular case that came to the fore this week where an individual from Bangladesh, he is a chemist. He's a professor. He had a green card to work in this country and no criminal record. He got a knock on his window as he was driving out of his driveway to take his daughter to school, and they brought him in. So this is going to be a very, very dicey situation, and if they decide to push it up to the last minute, they're playing with fire with these people's lives.
Let me switch subjects real quick. Talk about the budget. The president has released his budget, calling for more increased military spending. A lot of people on the other side of the aisle saying, listen, a lot of it is being spent on spending and defense, but yet and still many of the issues at home still being neglected.
Well, here's the deal. When we took a look at the budget, the president is looking to obviously increase military spending. He got a 2-year deal on that. He still wants more. But you have to understand that this is coming at the expense of social programming, the social safety net of America. We're looking at cuts in Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and food stamps. We examined that whole food stamp program and what they're trying to do with that. And they're going to take a portion, if not at least between 40 and 50% of what people are receiving in terms of benefits right now. They will no longer get that money. They will get a box of food mailed to their homes on a monthly basis. It's going to be filled with canned goods, shelf goods, the type of stuff that you can get that has a shelf life of years. Now, since we know that you can't pack fruits and vegetables inside of boxes that's going to go through the mail and last for a long time, we're talking about a downgrade in the nutritional value of the foods that they're going to be getting. The government is looking to save a lot of money in order to pay for all these other items that the rich, the tax breaks that were given, as well as all of the money going to the
which is a huge departure from what we've ever seen before.
Well, not only is it a departure, but it's actually a departure from the promises that the president made during his campaign. He promised not to touch Social Security. He promised not to touch Medicare and Medicaid. But those things are on the chopping block right now. We looked at the food stamp program, as a matter of fact, over a 10-year period. They're looking to downsize that by $213 billion. Another thing you mentioned earlier, and is a major problem in this country, is that they had set aside a significant amount of money to address the opiate problem in this country. $17 billion will be cut from that program as well. So, if you happen to be short of $1, or you're living on a couple of dimes, you're going to be in dire straits very, very soon if this bill is able to go, if what the president wants goes through. Now, here's the deal. The budget that he proposed is just an estimate right now. I don't see any way in hell that that budget is going to get through and actually get passed. But it does tell you where the mindset is with the GOP, because let's face it, Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, has been looking at tampering with or cutting significantly the entitlement programs for quite some time. And now they feel that they're in a position to get that done. And that's rather disturbing.
With the immigration deal, and we know how far this has been debated and how this is being pushed out, how do we see the budget process playing on in terms of timeline?
Well, since the budget deal that they made already that gave them 2 years worth of space, it looks as though that's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and they will take some time dragging that out. I mean, let's face it, the United States has been surviving on continuing CRs, which are continuing resolutions for quite some time. We've had 5 since September of 2017. Until they were able to come up with this particular bill, get it passed, and that was pretty much done at the expense of DACA.
All right, Lee Bynes, our political analyst. That's why we bring you in.
That's my pleasure to be here.
All right, Lee Bynes, our political analyst here on Open. You can catch him every week breaking down the latest in the world of politics. Taking a quick break, we'll return with more show, including the New York City Fire Department with a special message for you. That's coming up a little bit later. Stay with us.